Hello, my name is Jose Santoyo, and I am doing the 22nd Amendment. The 22nd Amendment limits the president to only 2 4-year terms in office, meaning that they cannot serve more than 2 terms. The first president of the United States, George Washington, was asked to continue on for a 3rd term due to his popularity as a president. Washington, however, declined. In his farewell address, Washington noted that no president should serve more than 2 terms. This created an unwritten tradition in American political culture. Thomas Jefferson, who was likewise asked to serve a 3rd term, declined out of respect for Washington. For many years, this unwritten rule governed how presidents should behave. The tradition, however, was broken by Franklin D. Roosevelt. Roosevelt served as president for 8 years, guiding the United States through the Great Depression. With the likelihood of World War II looming about, Franklin D. Roosevelt decided he was going to run for president again. Franklin D. Roosevelt went on to be elected to a 3rd and also a 4th term, but died shortly after beginning the 4th term because of poor health. After Franklin D. Roosevelt died in 1945, many Americans began to recognize that having a president serve more than 8 years was bad for the country. This led to the 22nd Amendment, which was passed by Congress in 1947 and ratified by the states by 1951. U.S. term limits versus Thornton. Arkansas adopted Amendment 73 to their state constitution on November 3, 1992, after voters ratified the amendment at the polls. The Term Limitation Amendment sought to limit the number of times a congressperson could be elected to office. It set the limit at 3 terms for members of the U.S. House of Representatives and at 2 terms for members of the U.S. Senate, on the grounds that entrenched incumbency reduces voter participation and that the incumbent becomes so preoccupied with re-election that they neglect their duties as representatives of the people. Bobby Hill, who is a member of the League of Women Voters, sued in state court to have the amendment invalidated as unconstitutional. The state courts agreed with Hill, but the state appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court. In a 5-4 vote, the Supreme Court ruled that Arkansas Amendment 73 was indeed in conflict with Article 1, Section 2, Clause 2, and Article 1, Section 3, Clause 3, respectively, which imposes no term limitations on the offices in question. The court held that states cannot apply stricter standards than those specified in the U.S. Constitution. This ruling invalidated the term limitations set by 23 states. My question is, what did the 22nd Amendment do? A. Extend the term period of the president to 4 4-year terms. B. Limit the president to 1 4-year term. C. Limit the president to 2 4-year terms. Or D. Let any president serve as much as they want. If you picked C, you're right. The 22nd Amendment limited the president to 2 4-year terms.